studio too.
Look at.
It's a miracle that I'm able to do this with all my broken technology. I now have to order a new external hard drive because I'm running out of space and I won't get my new computer for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I can't believe the pace that I'm learning all these new apps at. I mean, it's like overwhelming, but I never knew I had this much capacity.
Well, my computer is old and I was babying it along. So I bought the computer last night.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Yeah. 2 weeks to get it. And then I'll have to have my tech guy set it up remotely, which ought to be a treat. Or, I don't know, give him a hazmat suit and have him come over here.
Okay, I think we are live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to do a quick test and go to, if you're watching this and it sounds like there's people who are confused, they're not confused. It's me. YouTube.com/SmartHustle. I'm trying to see if I see a live broadcast going here. Okay, so it looks like we are live. Now let me test it in some independent way. Let me go to my Facebook page and see if it's there.
By the way, the order I have here, I just typed it out.
Yes, we're live. Sorry, Adrian. Yeah, so we're live on Facebook page. I just want to confirm that. So it's Smart Hustle Magazine's Facebook page. Okay, so that's working. Good. Sorry, Adrian. I'm so nervous. Go ahead.
So Ramon, Diane, and Scott, I'm happy to switch them any way you want. I just took it as the order I got the emails.
That's fine.
No problem.
And Adrian, I know it's a little late for this, but I guess no matter the order, you'll ask a few questions throughout. No slides. I don't have to talk forever. I can say a few words and you'll follow up or something. Okay.
This is a half hour. I think we can all talk. I know all of us. I think all of us can talk for a half hour.
We're streaming live on YouTube too. So as far as I can tell, we're good. Okay, good.
Okay.
So we can still chat and go ahead. So I'm happy. I just want to make sure. I was like, if this doesn't work, out of the 3 people I see on the screen, I know one person is going to kill somebody. But by the way, everybody, we're live. This is Ramon Ray, Adrian, Scott, Diana, Ramon. We're just chilling a bit. But if you can hear us, can you do one more thing? We're just kind of in testing mode now. And then I'm going to turn this over to my friend Adrian. But can you just put a comment and say hello? Because according to StreamYard, the new technology that I've been allowed to test by my peers here, thank you for trusting me, you can see comments in the StreamYard platform. Scott, and so let me know, Scott, if you can see it too, because we're testing this and seeing. So the stream works, it looks like. People are viewing. It says 3 people. Hopefully it's not us 3 only. So if you can watch this, if you're seeing this, do a comment in YouTube or Facebook, just so me, Adrian, Scott, Mason, Diana, and Ramon can know that you see this. But this is cool. First time I'm using it, and so it seems like
I love to be the beta test on there. Awesome. I didn't know it was the first time.
Yeah. Well, I've tested it several times solo by myself, like, Charity, Ronnie, can you all go here? Yes, Dad. Things like that. But.
It's always interesting to find out somebody has you very convinced that they are incredibly expert at it. I'm incredibly trusting. So I often don't peel back the onion. And I'm going to give you one quick example of where I didn't peel back the onion. When I had my first son, it was my doctor's first cesarean delivery. She's a brand new doctor, and it was an emergency, very risky surgery. Wow. And I only found out after. But here I am, and it's all good.
That's funny.
It's all good. It wouldn't have been, but it is good.
And so with people are saying, Stephen said, I can see people live. So that's good. I'm going to ask one more question. Can you hear us? Thank you, Stephen. And Stephen, can you hear us, by the way, as well, Stephen? Just say yes if you can hear us. Great.
Oh, yeah, I can see it too now. I didn't even. Awesome. On the right side, it says chat, and I have it under live comments. I had it under private chat. Right?
Oh, there it goes. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. Watch this, guys.
Yeah. I'm liking this.
I love the picture.
Thank you, Rain. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting us know you can hear us. Thank you.
Hi, Rain.
cool.
And Karen, I see it says waiting for video to load. Good. I'm glad that's working. I'm excited. And again, this is cool. This technology is called StreamYard. Me and my cousins, we programmed it in our garage. I wish. But we'll start in a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. It's 4:00, and Adrian will lead us. I'm just talking because I don't like dead air. But this is technology platform of StreamYard, Ramon and Adrian, Scott and Diane. And we'll start formally whenever Adrian says we do.
I'll start in the next minute or two.
No.
So Keith wrote motion sickness. Does that mean... What does that mean?
Maybe we're moving too much. Yeah, tell us, Keith. Tell us that good or bad.
I don't know. I'm not moving. Well, you're moving it.
Scott, you have a fan there.
He's my man.
Yeah. I'm not moving at all because I don't want to give anyone motion sickness. Oh, and you're putting
I was just getting used to Zoom. Now this.
Tomorrow something else.
And yes, Josh, I fixed my website issue at 2. Just tell you the techie thing that happened. By the way, what lesson learned was test. So RamonEmail.com. I use it in lead pages. I was trying to connect the domain name and be fancy, and I screwed it up, and I didn't test it. So that's why I had all these issues. Hey, Alan, welcome. Thanks for being here. Taryn, thanks for being here. And so many others are joining. Mary Scott, thanks for joining. A's Network.
Oh, Mary Scott. Hey, hi.
And Scott, you have a lot of fans poking fun at you, man. Somebody said, Scott, missing suspenders.
Yes, Brian Gorman, that is going to be corrected very soon.
What are you going to do? Change your clothes while you're on the screen?
Well, not this time, but next. Well, don't.
Depending what kind of videos we do next time. Got it.
Thank you, Terilyn. I'm excited to be here. We're happy to have you. Anne is here, Anne Marie, and so many others. Emily Loginova, thank you for being here, Emily.
Hey, Terry-Lynn. Terry-Lynn.
This is cool.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm just excited because I'm pretty much working with an abacus now for the next 2 weeks. You see me counting on my fingers.
Rita Moreno hashtag. Okay, I wouldn't miss it. CJ, thanks for being here, Carolyn Josephs. And Patricia Pat, thanks for being here. The designer, I think I want to say, I believe.
Yeah, interior designer.
This is nice. And then on the top left, Scott and Diana, you can see the count kind of and all that, just if it helps you all.
You can?
Yeah, well, mine's live. You can see the live, how long we've been on the air.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Should I give it another minute and then take off?
Adrian, it's all your show, but that's fine with me. Whatever you do, no problem.
Yeah, I'm going to give it another minute, but then we'll start.
Yeah. Barbara Feldman, thanks for being here. Michelle Loch, thanks for being here.
I think it looks better than Zoom too. It's not so delayed.
I really like it. This is what I was going to use for the Thrive Summit, but then Microsoft said we could use their platform.
How many people could be on the screen at the same time on this platform?
6.
Oh, okay. So that's good for an intimate Zoom.
Right. But you can control it too. Things like, let me show you, like this. Diane, you're now solo on the screen. See? So I can do that also. If you have comments, I can try to practice some master control, things like that. Scott smile face, Adrian there. So yeah, you can have it.
All right, we're getting started.
Okay.
It's gonna be 4:30 before we know it. Everybody's got places to go. No, that's a lie. We have no places to go. We just have Zoom calls to get onto. Virtual cocktail hours to start momentarily. So we put this panel together in a fast way, just to address some key issues that I think all of us are going through right now. And it's interesting. We started talking about this 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I think we're, all of a sudden, this is not a dream that we're going to wake up from. I was thinking that I was sleeping very intensely and I was going to wake up in the morning and I was going to find myself on the Lexington Avenue Express, and I was going to complain about the crowds, and that's not going to happen. And our governor just said here in New York that we are expected to be inside through May 15th. And that just came out in his news brief. So we're here for the long haul. And I think if there was any time to start deploying grit, it's really now, in any way, shape, or form, or every way, shape, or form. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, I thought of 3 people who I thought could address this topic, come at it from different perspectives. If there's time at the end of the call, I'm happy to weigh in on my area of expertise. And if there's not, that is perfectly fine too. So I'm going to turn it over to Ramon. These were some questions I was thinking about, we talked about, and
Sure.
I did a little survey of some people in terms of what are the things they really want to know about. And the first thing is mindset. Oh my God, why is mindset so important? And so many people are really scared and feel almost ashamed or nervous about sharing their vulnerability with the marketplace. And then one last thing, even though they're separate questions, personal branding in this era of being scared. I mean, you don't want your personal brand to be scared and hunkering down, hiding, and becoming invisible. Okay, that defies the word or the phrase personal brand. So what's your feelings on how you can be authentic during this period, but not so much resonate, I'm scared out of my mind and just so panicked about my business, my personal life, my family. I may have a first responder who's out in the field. What do people do?
Yeah, no, I think it's powerful. Thank you, Adrian, for bringing us together. And Scott and Diane remind me that we have to hear Adrian's insight as well. And once again, I just want to give props. All 3 of us, I believe, are members of Adrian's network, started by Adrian Miller. So definitely those who are guests, those who are new watching this, please check out adriansnetwork.com. Great. Listen, I recommended people today. I've been to many networking sites, events and things like this. And I love how Adrian runs it. She didn't ask me to say this, but I'm all in. And I think 2 things, Adrian's comments, she kind of gives her comments and thoughts and things like that throughout, which I enjoy, I learn. And then 2, she keeps it moving. So if Scott's talking too much, and Scott will have to just be quiet a minute, or Diane. So thank you, Adrian, for bringing us together. Really appreciate it. But in a nutshell, to address some of the points you gave, Adrian, I think really when this started out, beginning of March-ish, whatever that date was, when kind of everything came to a halt, I was scared, Adrian. I was nervous. Many of the 3 of us know each other to some degree. I know Scott well and Adrian, and I was panicked. I'm a speaker. For those who don't know, I speak around the world. I'm in a plane most of the time, as Adrian knows well, and Scott, I'm in a plane all the time, as it were. So when I'm flying, most of the time I'm getting a check, a nice check. So I panicked. So I think that one tip I'll give, really be quick here. One tip I'll give, I think, is that mindset means it's okay to have fear, embrace the fear. We're all scared. But now what do you do in moving on? So I think that's 1. And then I can come back to these, but I want to make sure I leave time for my other colleagues. And then 2, I think the aspect I'll address, Adrian, that's mindset. Fear is okay. What am I going to do about it? And I can talk more about that later on. But I think point 2, the personal branding, I think is important. That's kind of my forte. I know nothing about money, nothing. But as far as Diane knows, but as far as personal branding, my point and what I think we're trying to draw out here is don't not keep marketing, and I would rather say even keep serving is a better word, serving and communicating in some way to your customers and to others, because they're still out there, they still need you, and be sensitive. Call Diane, and before you sell, Diane, are you good? Are you okay? How can I help? And I mean that really, because this is not the time to sell. So I think I'll leave it there, Adrian, unless I missed a big key point I'm going to bring out, but I want to give time for others. But really, mindset, fear is okay, moving on, and then 2, this is the time to still keep those blogs, those podcasts, reaching out to people, letting people know, I think, really, that you care. That's most important.
Thank you. And I think, I was listening to you speak, I'm finding that because I come on very positive and I'm the rah-rah girl and it's all fabulous and perfect and all the rest, I find when I really do drop that and say, I am freaked. Okay, because a lot of my business is derived from being in front of people and doing training. The fact is, being honest and being more vulnerable and asking for help. I don't usually ask for help. I usually give help. So it's helped me to get more attention, and have better dialogues. That's not so much attention, it's better dialogue. So authenticity is a really important word for me now. So Diane, we want to hear from you, the banker, in terms of what our business is doing right now to stay afloat. Many businesses have had literally shut the proverbial door. I don't even mean they're a retail store or a hospitality restaurant, but their business is done. They're a hands-on business. Physically, they cannot service their customers virtually. Therefore, how can they manage this now even lengthier period of time that we are going to exist like this? What are you suggesting to them when they come to you?
A lot what Ramon had said was, reaching out to people and speaking out, because a lot of businesses just want to hide. They're nervous, as Ramon had said. They are fearful. They've never seen something like this happen, a complete shutdown before. Let's say our New York businesses have seen shutdowns for shorter periods of time because of Mother Nature and 9/11 and things like that. But this time frame where the whole city is shut down is unprecedented. So we're seeing a lot of clients who we're trying to reach out and say, what can we help? What can we do? So we're deferring interest payments. So if somebody is, wants some advice about what to do right now, speak to your bank, speak to your vendors, and speak to people like your landlord. So one of the things I tell people is, speak to the vendors. They might say, hey, if I got money to pay some bills this month, if you reached out to them and showed a concern, maybe they'll say, you know what, I'll pay that person because they showed a concern for me and they reached out to me. The banks are deferring payments, might be able to get some services refunded. What else are we doing? Using the SBA loans right now. I don't know if anybody heard, but 11 o'clock today, they reached capacity, the SBA, for the PPP loan. So hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed and pray that 250 is going to be additional money is going to be approved, and then more businesses can be helped. Use every resource you have. Stay present, as I think other people have said, and keep the conversations going. A lot of businesses didn't have 2 to 3 months of emergency funds, so they're looking for a way to stay alive and pay their employees and keep the unemployment rates down low. So.
There's a question on the screen. It's really a very good question. I had the same situation. How do you speak to your bank when they're closed?
Good question. So not everybody should be completely closed. There are branches that are open. So in my particular bank, if you call, let's say, one in downtown Manhattan, it might go to Midtown branch. There are a certain number of branches. Look at the website first and find out which locations are open. But the phone number should be transferred either to a customer service number or to a branch that is open. And definitely make a phone call. If you don't have a personal banker for your business or a personal banker for your own personal, home mortgage or anything like that, definitely find out the 1-800 number. Use every resource. Use Twitter. Use use email. Use any kind of social media you can to get their attention, saying, "Hey, I need someone to speak to me."
It's the issue that most small businesses are talking about, no matter where the conversation is going, what other topic, the area of how am I keeping the doors open? How am I going to pay for anything? My clients have all disappeared. People have been very enterprising about finding alternative sources of revenue and income for themselves, and have had to do things that they possibly never would have thought that they were going to do. But it's a function of food on the table, keeping yourself housed, and these are unimaginable times, and they call for being ingenious and thinking about what you can do. I think that's really, really important. Thank you. I've had very little luck to get through to my banker. I've done all the things you said, but I'm so here's the thing to persevere. It has nothing to do with banking, but I had exactly the same experience with a major airline website. I couldn't get through. I couldn't get through on 800 numbers, Twitter, or the whole bit. Today I called again. The phone was picked up in 2 rings.
Nice.
I don't know. It just got picked up in 2 rings. A human.
And Adrian, did you tell them the first few times that you had founded Adrian's network? Maybe you forgot to tell them that. Did they know you were a member of Adrian's network?
Yeah, always. Adrian's network is precedes
They still didn't answer, huh? Okay.
Everything we do. I got a lot of the information about how to handle the crediting of airline tickets through Adrian's network. It was very, very helpful. But just having someone pick up, I almost, you dial the phone and then you start doing something else because you expect you're going to be on hold for a half hour. So sometimes that phone call works. Thank you, Diane. We may circle back with some other questions, but we definitely want to figure out how we can navigate this new normal without money. So Scott's pivoted his business. He's rebranded himself. He's got a whole new business. It wasn't quite on the cusp. Well, it was on the cusp of this whole new situation. It wasn't exactly whatever that date was, March 3rd, Friday the 13th. I don't know what exact date it was, but it was certainly very close. Absolutely. So I'm looking for you to provide your perspective at going out into a whole new business venture just about when the world as we know it has stopped. And also, what's your perspective on keeping up your morale and just keep moving forward when so many people have gotten very, very, very frozen and have started to, again, like I talked to some people, they thought it was going to be fun. It's going to be like a little break. We're going to be home for a week or two. We're going to watch Netflix. We're going to wear jeans. And all of a sudden, it's not a week or two, and the news is very sad, and our own morale, based on the face of everything, for a lot of people has totally fallen down. What do you do to keep yourself focused?
Thank you. So I'm going to address the first question, which is talking a little bit about my perspective on this, having been someone that, exactly as you said, pivoted my business and my life as an entrepreneur almost immediately before this happened. I had clients ready to sign up and begin to work literally starting February 1st and moving into the beginning of March was when I was supposed to be going full steam. I had to be absolutely honest, pull back and understand a couple of things about who I am, why I was doing what I was doing, and look back at my old life before and compare my situation to those that I might have worked with in my prior history in large organizations. And think about it globally and then funnel down into some sort of actionable way to deal with this. At the end of the day, all of us have chosen to be entrepreneurs because we know we can do it. We all have somewhere inside the inner belief. I almost describe it as like a gigantic mirror-like fountain, multiple layers of confidence in our underlying ability to find a place in our own, in our very large crowded sphere of whatever space that it is in, and then to make it no matter what. It is important. And what I had to do was really look into that well and say, Scott, there were people that doubted that you could become an entrepreneur in the first place. You did it against the odds. There were people that doubted whether you could then make this pivot and succeed. And I quickly was able to get clients, even though the circumstances surrounding me changed very quickly. Being in touch with that inner fortitude, remembering it and never forgetting it, has been everything to me. I will also just say as an aside, and this is a big, big macro picture sort of thing, that as entrepreneurs, we are people who are the drivers of change, growth, innovation, and heightened productivity in our society. The American economic system cannot survive without us doing what we do every day. So I had to sit back, and I urge my friends to do this as well. Remember who and what our role is. It's bigger than any of us. The entire American economy depends on people like us being out there doing what we need to do. And remembering that just as a parent can't turn its back on its child when it's sick, we cannot turn our back on our role, our larger social role, just when it needs us the most. So that's number one. Going to the second question about grit. There is not a single person in this room, as panicked and as unprecedented as this is, who has not been through something equally bad or horrible. You know, a story that I always tell folks around that is right after the greatest recession, I was, for all intents and purposes, pushed out of a job and then blackballed in the sector I was in, which was government. And I'll never forget, ever, as long as I live, after more than a year of looking for a job unsuccessfully and having what was approaching pennies in my bank account, waking up one morning at 3:30, I'm like crying. And my husband comforted me, got me back to sleep, and the next morning said, let's get up and go on a bike ride. We went out on that bike ride, and when I placed that bicycle tire on the street, he said, take a look around you. I did. And I saw the sun shining on that bicycle. I saw the clear sky. I saw the green trees, and it was beautiful. And he told me to remember, Adrian, that there will be a day when I'll be stuck in some office wanting to go on that bike ride, and I won't be able to. And that happened. Remembering stories like that of when we were at our lowest point and we were somehow able to pull that out, remembering that, being conscious about that, is how we're going to get that grit to make it through this time as well.
Awesome. My God, I'm ready to, if I could leave, I'd be ready to go out.
Well, bring your bicycle inside.
Do something, man.
Right on it.
I'm like looking for the door. I'm finding my mask to wear as I go out.
And you're running for president or something.
My God. Oh, geez. Yes. Everything you said, everything Scott said. I love that. So I live at the bottom. I live at the bottom of something called the sales funnel. Up here, all the people doing marketing and all these other things, but I live on the bottom because everything that we do, it's all great. We need marketing. We need all of this stuff. We need to get business coming through that pipeline. Now, we're not going out. We're not able to market and sell the way we did prior to March 17th, the last day we could go into a restaurant, March 13th for when they were telling us, the new normal was appearing, et cetera, et cetera. It's all got to be different. And a lot of people have said in the comments, and there's been a million articles, but it's of course, educating and informing, but I'm starting to see, and this might be the cynical New Yorker in me, I'm starting to see people offering stuff. I know their intentions are good and everybody needs help, etc. Stuff that the value proposition is not really there. I'm sorry. I don't want to, like the cliche, looking a gift horse or anything, but no, I'm sorry. It's okay to be offering that, but not so much, okay? So the first thing I'm going to say, because even if you're not able to close business right now, in order to get people thinking positively, remembering you, staying visible, staying recognizable, and being positive, if you are going to be offering something, okay, please make sure it has a core benefit and value to the people you're offering it to and not just to yourself. And really take a very clear look in the mirror and make sure that you can be fully convinced that what you are offering is going to equal an improvement, because that's what a benefit is. A benefit is an improvement in someone's situation. Okay, an improvement. And that is sometimes is very difficult to do now. I'm stopping to use the word pivot. I'm looking at this period of time as a period with options and opportunities. This may be the time that you throw out some crappy component in your business that shouldn't have been there, but we got into a little bit of a same old, same old. Scott, you're in a fabulous position because you don't have same old, same old. I've been in business forever and I have a lot of same old, same old. So it's giving me an opportunity to peel back some of that stuff. And I hope all of us use that time to peel back some of that stuff. And yes, every time it's got to be value. And you've got to think ahead too. If what you're offering now, is it going to be of value when this is over? Okay. We've got to be thinking past this pandemic. You've got to be teeing yourself up and setting yourself up for the long game. Not the short game, the long game. And if you're offering something of value that you can't even afford to offer now, forget about later on when maybe more people hop in and ask you for it, throw that sucker out. That's not going to work for you. So think about what you can offer short-term and long-term for sure. Remember that everything that you are going to put out there has to equal an improvement in the person's situation. Business improvement, personal life improvement, some kind of improvement. And keep yourself visible and recognizable because of those things. Yeah, social media is awesome, but it's very cluttered right now. It's really very cluttered. You have to kind of wade through a lot of things that are out there that the value add isn't there. Yeah, I think entrepreneurs will lead the way. I really do, Taryn. That's the new normal. But let's not throw out our big brand brothers and sisters.
Yeah, please let's not, because right now, because of the big brands, I'm so blessed.
Let's not throw out our big brand brothers and sisters. This is a time we have to all come together, and they need to embrace us as well. I've been an entrepreneur for so long. I don't even know how to not be an entrepreneur, but I know we can't diss our big brand brothers and sisters because some of the work I'm doing right now is for them. Lights are on for them. So, Ramon, talk a little bit about your ideas of marketing now. Okay, I'd like everyone's perspective, even for those of us who are not pure marketers. But what are your perspectives right now?
Sure, and I just want to give a shout out, Adrian. I'm just amazed. I know time is short. We may go a bit over. We'll see what you say, but it's just at the comments and the people who are engaged. I'm looking at that. Nobody's dropped off. So kudos, Adrian, for doing this. And I think I have a new job. I like being a producer. I like clicking the thing and bringing the comments up. So marketing is tough. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody does it well, but I think a few things. And again, I'm stealing from who you know, my favorite, Adrian, Seth Godin. His book is right back there on my shelf, and not just as a prop, but I think a few things. Who are you marketing to? I think that's important now more than ever. And I'm pretty clear on who my market is. As those on this call may know, I help large companies who are marketing to small businesses. That is my forte. It doesn't mean I couldn't change whatever. Scott, whole different thing. Mindset and et cetera, things he does. That's his lane. That doesn't mean we can't compete. But my point I'm trying to say, that's one. Who are you serving? And I think two, Adrian, marketing for me, it's really more about what you teach a lot, Adrian, is the relationship. And I think that thinking of these challenging times as hardship, that has saved me. All the years I've spent of being relationship, all the years I've spent of sending my wife's wreaths to people, things of that nature, you know, for the bigger brands, the real, and just being a nice guy. That's who I am. Just, you know what? You don't want to hire me. You want, you know, I'll pick on Scott again. Scott to come and speak. No problem. Still be my friend, please. Meaning, you follow what I'm saying, just being in touch. So I think, Adrian, when I think of marketing, to be short, who are you marketing to? And keeping the relationship genuinely going as friends-ish, business friends. Because if you're in the right market, they will hire you, or your turn will come around the wheel, put it that way.
Right. Thank you. So many of the things we talk about, maybe, and it comes out even more in tough times, are things we learned, a lot of people, from our elders, parents, or a teacher who you really respected, or someone who helped you with relationships are important and don't burn your bridges, and all those kinds of cliches that I think we learned very young. And I think for me, a lot of the grit came from being a single. My mom was a single mom, widowed when she was 38. She had how to, you know, create a life, recreate a family, and did it all with a certain amount of skill and elan. Didn't come from any particular professional training. So that kind of rubbed off on me. So when you talked about you've been through some bad times before, I can remember that like it was yesterday. Absolutely, like it was yesterday. So, Diane, I know. So you work for Santander, so it's a big bank, and I know you're not involved in the bank marketing, I don't think. But do you do any personal branding and personal marketing for yourself?
So I would say I'm a part of a 8-person team in Manhattan for the division that I work for, and I would say I'm the one who's most active in networking. So I consider that my personal marketing. Besides trying to get my name out there and have conversations with people and just let them know what I do, I try to bring value with education on banking. And I always tell people, you know, everybody has a bank already, and there's no reason to change unless you really have an issue with somebody. But if you want to just pass something by me, I'm always available just to say, yeah, I want to ask a question. I want to get your advice on something, because if I can bring value to it, and then there is that time down the road where there is an issue with somebody, then maybe they'll think of me and come back to me. And I just wanted to touch on something that Ramon said about keeping the relationships going. And that's one of the things right now for Santander. What I have to do is, my role used to be to maintain a book of business that I have, and then to also grow my book of business with new business. But, as soon as this thing hit, no new business, we're concentrating on helping the existing businesses we have. And I have been on the phone and texting and calling and emailing people all day long and trying to help them put together their packages and connect them, and just trying to ease the process for them. So, keeping those relationships so that they stay in business, they have someone helping to guide them. I think it's important, and hope that, I'm able to make a difference in this really tough time for them.
I'm just going to do one shout out for staying on the grid, because I think half of you have heard me say this, but I think maybe some of you haven't. And if you don't do this now, I just can't even imagine. If you're going to be reaching out to people, we're going to be hanging in here for the long haul. So the how are you? I'm just touching base. I'm just checking in. That's great, but we're going to have to get past that. So I'm thinking you need to think about making introductions to people, proactive introductions, because there are synergies, personal synergies. They both like to bike. Professional synergies, maybe not going to be executed now, but maybe going to be executed fourth quarter. Invitations to things like this, invitations to survive and thrive, invitations to all these Zoom calls of value that you see that you're going to go to. But how about even if you're not going to go, just press forward and say, hey, this is a great speaker. You should participate in that. So you have invitations, you have introductions, and you have informations. Go on to Google, check out some information, subscribe to newsletters that you know are very high value. Send out videos of TED Talks that really address some of the things that are meaningful right now. And that's how you stay visible, recognizable, adding something that is beneficial and improves people's lives. The 3 I's: invitations, introductions, and information. And I will throw it over to you, Scott, for marketing, because you are killing it with your videos.
Oh, good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, killing
You wanted
it.
to say it again? Adrian, what did you say to Scott? Say it again. I didn't hear you. No, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, what can I say that really hasn't been said better by all of y'all, except to maybe expand in 2 areas. First of all, provide that value, but provide the value coming from a place of empathy. What might be valuable to us might not be valuable to the people that you are trying to build the relationship with. And so empathy, understanding who and what you are building a relationship with, what motivates them, why they are needing whatever it is that you have to offer, and then connecting that is everything. The other thing is not being afraid to throw yourself out there. And that means, again, pulling into that well of courage that we all know that we have, and looking up and looking in yourself and saying, okay, what is it that folks need that I can provide knowing myself that's authentic and related to who I am at my core, and then putting that out there for the world to see. That's what's going to create that connection. That's what I'm trying to do. And if you have that connection, as folks have said earlier, you have a real relationship and they're going to want to be there for you. Empathy, authenticity, knowing yourself inside, it's going to be everything.
Awesome. 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 This was great.
Adrian, can I make one comment? May I?
You can.
I just wanted to say, I'm announcing it here. Talking about Scott, you mentioned get out there, and I cried. I almost cried 2 minutes ago, but the cry left me. So, but Adrian, as you know, I'm doing this summit, and I told Eventbrite, when tickets reach 1,000, close it out, because it's not going to reach 1,000 because it's too much. It's hit 1,000, and for me, it's huge. That's all I wanted to sell.
It's incredible.
So it's not about me per se, but just want to share. But Adrian, please take it away. Go for it.
Well, I had the ASNet meeting. I canceled that. I canceled it because I wasn't going to show up at the meeting. I was going to show up at your event. So I canceled the meeting because I could. Really awesome. Really awesome. I can't wait to do that. So I think we're going to stick on time. I'm a pretty structured person in terms of start and stop times. I believe very strongly in that. And I thought this was fantastic. I love these three people. It's awesome for me to hear them speak about their areas of expertise. And I always get so motivated and so encouraged. And we all need that. We need those shots in the arm every day, over the course of the day, because at different times in the day, I know I talk about this with people, all of a sudden, the reality of this hand we've been dealt comes through. Whether you received a bill or you just realized, you said to yourself, I just want to run down and get a Starbucks or get a cup of coffee, or I want to pick up the phone and call Scott and say, meet me for coffee or meet me for dinner. And I can't. And many people on this call have heard me say, I'm a hugger. I'm not a virtual hugger. I'm not. I'm a real hugger. I want to feel your shoulders. I'm a hugger. I'm affectionate. I grab you when we're talking, and there's none of that going on. It may never go on again. So I'm trying to let those parts of my personality recede. And so thank you all for being here. I think most of you know one or all of us. So I'd say if you have any questions, certainly email one or all of us. LinkedIn is a great place to communicate. Leaving a comment on LinkedIn that you participated on this, with all of us, and tagging us will be great for all of us, because we are trying to stay visible and recognizable for things that, if you thought there was a value. If you didn't, don't post that. But I'm going to assume you are, because I'm looking at the messages. And we'd love to hear from you with anything we can do to help. Adrian's network has 875,000 Zoom calls scheduled between now and the weekend. No, it really
almost.
I'm putting. We have a lot of stuff on the calendar, so please feel free to jump on a call and connect with all of us, and we'll do our virtual hugs. And hope everything was great. Thank you all.
Adrian, thank you so much. Scott, take care. Diane, thanks so much. And the platform. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. I don't know how to do anything